Mexico, meet with the leader. It's a good move. He did. That was a brilliant move. He was the one who could get into Donald Trump and say, listen, you got to stop tweeting about this. He was the strength there, one of the few people to stand up and to really give advice to Donald Trump that he listened to maybe more than anybody else. Together, him and Reince Priebus were extremely effective in putting, along with Kellyanne Conway, in putting together this run, which makes me wonder, why is everyone going out pointing out they're labeling him an alt-right candidate?
Because he worked for Breitbart.
This is going to be terrible.
This is going to be awful. It's mainstream media. What do you expect?
I did expect more. I did expect more, because for 4 months he proved what he could do.
Right, surely, but the mainstream media is going to say what the mainstream media is going to do. Look, this is a brilliant pairing. It's a preview of what the administration is going to look like. You got an insider, you got an outsider. It's exactly what Donald Trump had promised. Then you got Senator Lindsey Graham, who, hated Donald Trump during the campaign, but this morning, look at this. Here's a tweet. Congratulations to Donald Trump for an outstanding choice of Reince Priebus to be chief of staff. This shows me he is serious about governing.
Remember, this was the guy, they did not like each other. They were both running against each other, and down in South Carolina, that's where Donald Trump gave out his cell phone number. Yeah. Remember, then he came back smashing his cell phone.
Yeah, right. Hilarious. And, for a while he tried to jump back and forth, but it didn't work. But he's like many people, I think, there's the enemies list for Donald Trump is shrinking every day. Reince Priebus on shortly. He'll be on here in an hour and 10 minutes. Meanwhile, 60 Minutes, it got huge ratings. Why? Because they spent the whole hour with Donald Trump and the future First Family. He talked about, did Donald Trump, really his priorities. Listen.
You met with the Republican leadership. What was the one thing that you all agreed you want to get done right away?
Well, I would say there was more than one thing. There were three things. There was health care, there was immigration, and there was a major tax bill lowering taxes in this country. We're going to substantially simplify and lower the taxes.
And you've got both houses.
And I have both houses, and we have the presidency, so we can do things
you
that
can do things lickety-split.
In a long time since it's happened.
What about the pledge to deport millions and millions of undocumented immigrants?
What we are going to do is get the people that are criminal and have criminal records, gang members, drug dealers. We have a lot of these people, probably 2 million, it could even be 3 million. We're getting them out of our country, or we're going to incarcerate. But we're getting them out of our country. They're here illegally.
Leslie also went on to ask about the kids and the company. Listen to what he said.
Let me ask whether any of you think that the campaign has hurt the Trump brand.
Who cares? Who cares? This is big league stuff. This is our country. Our country is going bad. We're going to save our country. I don't care about hotel occupancy. It's peanuts compared to what we're doing. Healthcare, making people better. It's unfair what's happened to the people of our country, and we're going to change it. As simple as that.
It's as simple as that.
That was the most surprising answer of the interview.
I didn't think so. I thought the next one that we're about to show you, that was the most surprising
Trump
to me.
said, don't be afraid. Look, he's here to try to make things better. As for how much he's going to make, listen to this.
We have so much work. There's so much work to be done. So I don't think we'll be very big on vacations, no.
Are you going to take the salary, the president's salary?
Well, I've never commented on this, but the answer is no. I think I have to, by law, take $1, so I'll take $1 a year. But I don't even know what it is. Do you know what the salary is?
$400,000.
No, I'm not going to take the salary. I'm not taking it.
I love that he's so wealthy, he doesn't even know what the salary is. If you're about to get a new job and you're getting a bonus and more money.
And it's a $400,000 job.
$400,000, you would know the salary, but he's so wealthy he doesn't even need the money. I think the American people appreciate that.
Sure, it's refreshing.
We're going to see over the next few days more and more people is going to fill out his staff to really take shape. One thing I would love to see is the diminishing of the riots. I never saw anything like it. They said he's got to go. He hasn't even gotten there yet.
Right.
Now, what are they chanting? I mean, I don't even,
they're chanting, he's not my president. And extraordinarily, the guy who is the mayor here in New York City, Bill de Blasio, he said, okay, Donald Trump's talking all about deporting all these millions of people. they're going to have a big fight if they try to deport anybody from New York City. And by the way, I'm running for re-election, and how much can you give me to my re-election campaign?
Right.
So essentially what he's making is he's making New York City a criminal alien magnet. When you think about it, out on the streets of New York City, nobody's going to get deported.
Don't worry, Chicago's is asking for it too. Mayor Emanuel has also said we're always going to be a sanctuary city, if that makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's all about making you feel good. Nothing better than Heather telling us the news.
Good
Heather
morning.
Nauert, how are you?
Hi, guys. Good morning. Well, this first story is not going to make you feel good, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway. It is a Fox News alert, and we have a chilling new terror threat to tell you about today. ISIS calling for attacks on Americans here on Thanksgiving Day. The terror group urging followers to, quote, leave a trail of carnage by using trucks to plow through people at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, you know, the one that's televised all across the country. It comes out of here in New York City. The call to action eerily similar to the Bastille Day attack in Nice, France, where 86 people died after they were mowed down by a truck. U.S. officials say they are on alert, but there is no specific threat. We'll follow the story. Hundreds gathering to honor a Northern California deputy who was killed in an execution-style shooting. Deputy Dennis Wallace, a 20-year veteran, was shot twice, point blank, in the head east of San Francisco after he pulled over a suspect in a stolen car. That suspect, David Mikado, a known criminal, was caught then hours later. Deputy Wallace is the 5th officer to have been killed in California in the past 2 months. Outgoing Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid is offering up his pick for the next DNC chair. He wants Minnesota Congressman Keith Ellison. Reid saying the first Muslim elected to Congress is, quote, a terrific leader and a strong progressive who knows how to get things done. Now is time for new thinking and a fresh start at the DNC. Well, Reid's show of support comes after incoming Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer's Friday endorsement of Ellison. And it hasn't happened in 70 years, and if you didn't get to see it outside last night, the supermoon, you'll have to wait until 2034 to see it again. The spectacular sight captured these breathtaking photos, and it wasn't just the professional photographers. Fox and Friends viewers sending in some of these amazing shots. We'd love to see yours as well. I was down in Annapolis, Maryland over the weekend and saw it over the Chesapeake. It was gorgeous.
Revisiting your
was.
brother.
I sure was.
Oh, we're so proud
I
of
saw
him.
some of those pictures from the game.
Yeah, we had fun. The Navy game over the weekend.
He's at the academy. We're so proud of
We
him.
had a great
All right.
time. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Heather. All right, coming up on this Monday, now that Reince Priebus is in the cabinet, actually the chief of staff, how will the transition go? Brad Blakeman was in a president administration, for 2 of them, 41 and 43. He's going to take us inside the Oval Office, show us how it all works.
And the Nebraska Republican Senator
Ben Sasse.
Sasse is taking voters for a ride. Literally, the lawmaker's second job that has everyone talking.
Mr. Uber?
As RNC Chairman Reince Priebus is officially named as the new Chief of Staff. So what exactly does this choice say about Mr. Trump's future administration? Mr. Brad Blakeman joins us, who is a former Deputy Assistant to President George W. Bush and served on his transition team, as well as Bush 41, worked for 41. Thank you so much, Brad, for joining us.
Morning.
Good to see you. First of all, what do you think about him choosing Reince Priebus? Was that a good choice, and why?
I think it's a great choice, and the reason is Reince Priebus knows how Washington works. He's a lawyer. He's a professional. He ran the RNC with great management skills. He actually reincarnated the RNC after our losses and made us stronger and brought us to a fantastic historic victory with President-elect Trump. So he has all the qualities that you'd want in a chief of staff: a good manager, somebody who's trusted by the president-elect, and somebody who can implement those policies and bring together a diverse staff in order to hit the ground running on January 20th.
Yeah, we know how important loyalty is to Donald Trump. What are the duties of the Chief of Staff?
Well, you got to keep all the planes and trains running. You've got to manage the staff. You've got to be the person in charge of the care and feeding of the president, making sure that he's comfortable in his position. It's a 24/7, 7-day-a-week job. You got to keep all the balls in the air, not let one drop. It is something that is really for a person who is steeped in managerial skill and ability, which is exactly what we have in Reince Priebus.
Brad, take us inside the administration now, or the transition team now. What's going on behind the scenes?
They're casting a wide net in order to get the best and brightest attracted to government. You have a diverse group of people to hire, national security staff. You have a press office to fill, legislative affairs, public liaison. So what we need to do is make sure that they are getting and attracting the best and brightest who are not only good at what they do, but are loyal and to the president and have the ability to enact his legislation and his policies.
You know, after spending the last 17 months campaigning, as soon as the president wins the office, you have to hit the ground running. I was reading on his website, on his transition team's website, they have to hire 4,000 people. How do you even begin to do that?
Well, you start by having a priority, and the priority is getting the White House first and foremost up and running, get the cabinet selections, sub-cabinet, and then let them fill in as they go. It's probably going to be a 6-month process by the time you're able to staff up your government. And remember, a lot of those people have to be confirmed by the Senate.
Who do you think what happens next? Does he get together the cabinet? And if so, who's going to be on that cabinet, in your opinion?
I think it's going to be a diverse cabinet. Look at the choice between Reince Priebus, the chief of staff, and Steve Bannon, who's going to be the senior advisor. It's a diverse group of thought. The key is bringing people together who can have tension and come to agreement. And then once decisions are made, lockstep in getting it done. So the key is get people of diverse talent who can add something, and not just people who are groupthink or like-think.
Brad, do you want to do it again? You going to go work for him?
It would be an honor to serve this president. There's no doubt. There's so much to do, and we need to make America great again.
Thank you so much for being with us, Brad.
Pleasure.
It's fascinating to have an insider tell us what really is happening behind the scenes. Thank you. The numbers don't lie. Obamacare premiums rising in some states, in all states actually, but as much as 116% in a few. Can President-elect Donald Trump turn that trend around? Obamacare architect Dr. Ezekiel Emanuel is going to join Brian next with where we go from here. And Nebraska Republican Senator Ben Sasse is taking voters for a ride. Literally, the lawmaker's second job that has everyone talking.
President-elect Donald Trump says he's open to keeping some aspects of Obamacare.
Are you going to make sure that people with preconditions are still covered?
Yes, because it happens to be one of the strongest assets.
You're going to keep that?
Also, with the children living with their parents for an extended period, you're going to
keep
very
that?
much try and keep that. Adds cost, but it's very much something we're going to try and keep.
Wow. So what do those who helped craft the president's signature bill think about that? The fact that those aspects are going to be still in place. Obamacare architect himself and medical ethics and health policy chair at UPenn, Dr. Ezekiel Emanuel joins us right now. Dr. Emanuel, I'm sure you saw 60 Minutes. You heard about those two things that the soon-to-be President-elect Trump would like to keep. Is that okay with you?
Oh, I mean, we put them in the bill. We like those parts. The fact that kids can stay on their parents' plan until age 26. A lot of upper middle class parents and their children have benefited from that, and it's very popular. And not excluding people who have a pre-existing condition like cancer or heart disease from health insurance and getting a reasonable rate is important. But one of the things the Republicans are going to have to actually realize and have a come-to-Jesus moment about is that you cannot have people with pre-existing conditions getting insurance and getting a reasonable rate without a mandate and getting everyone in the system. It just doesn't work, and they're going to have to choose how to do that. If you're really going to be serious about the pre-existing conditions, and the polling shows that 75-80% of Americans support that requirement. And remember, the Affordable Care Act is many more things. Closing the donut hole for seniors so that they get their drug coverage when they're sick. That's going out if the Republicans are going to repeal it. That's extremely popular with seniors. So there are lots of things. There are lots of things you have to take seriously.
And that's a great point, because everyone says get rid of this, add this, but then who's paying for it? Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy weighed in on this. I want to hear what he has to say to that question. Let's listen.
Stop this one-size-fits-all. You've got to empower the states. You've got to have more options. You've got to repeal that tax on medical device, on individual, business, employer mandate.
And he went on to say go across state lines and let these insurance companies compete with each other. Your reaction?
Yes. Look, 3 states already have that insurance companies can from out of states can come in, and they actually, not one insurance company has come across state lines. It's hard to establish a beachhead across state lines for a lot of reasons. You don't have a lot of doctors in hospitals. They get high rates. You don't get people because your premiums have to be higher there. I mean, that is not a solution to providing universal coverage to everyone with pre-existing conditions. And so I think it's a little unrealistic.
Right.
We also did give let's remember, we did give states a lot of authority. States could establish the exchanges. States have the possibility of opening up Medicaid and having expanding Medicaid and also doing it in a unique way. Arkansas did it and Michigan did it in unique ways. States have had that power under the Affordable Care Act.
Right.
I don't think Mr. McCarthy realizes how much power they have been given. The fact that most of them didn't do the exchange shows you how hard it is to do health care reform at the state level.
So when you see all the premiums that have increased and how many people, how many major companies, and look at that chart there. I don't know if they have a monitor for you, Dr. Emanuel. And look at that chart there about the improvement. It just shows an arc that's going up. It also shows, too, that, a lot of major companies said we can't exist on these exchanges, so we have to drop out. Having said that, the Republicans still need 60 votes to totally repeal. They have 51-52 votes in the Senate. What would you say to them, being that both sides agree that it is not working like it was supposed to work with Obamacare? What's your message to Republicans that, knowing the political reality that we got on Tuesday, what's your message to them?
Well, first of all, let's emphasize the political reality. Mrs. Clinton won more votes than Mr. Trump. He doesn't
that's
have
not
some
the rule.
huge...
But forget that.
That's
like saying most hits in baseball should count over most runs. If they cared about majority votes, they would have went into California.
No.
But having said that, go ahead.
Excuse me. She got the most runs, and that means he doesn't have some huge mandate, and that's an important fact.
He's got the House and Senate. But go ahead. Let's just talk nuts and bolts. Let's talk nuts and bolts.
So, I mean, one of the things I would say is there are a number of things you can do to make the exchanges work better. Okay. There are some things we could end in the Affordable Care Act without threatening it, like taking away the Independent Payment Advisory Board, which Republicans have not liked and have analogized to a death panel. Okay. Those things can go away. But I think you've got to fix the exchanges and make them work. And by the way, let me remind your viewers, the exchanges are a Republican idea. If we get rid of the exchanges, it's going to be very hard to see how you get universal coverage, people with pre-existing condition coverage at a reasonable rate without the private market. Then you're pushing people towards a government solution like Medicare for all. That's usually not what the Republicans want. So I think the Republicans have to rethink their opposition to the exchanges. I think you're good. Because it's a very Republican idea.
And Dr. Emanuel,
developed by the Heritage Foundation.
I think you're 100% right. Just like they say the 26-year-old saying on your plan is a Republican idea, and they also said pre-existing conditions was a Republican idea. Having said that, I'd love to get past you said, and get towards what's going to work, being that something's going to change. Even the president admits that. And lastly, Paul Ryan, there's about 5 plans out there to repeal and replace. You can take a look at them. But Paul Ryan, for the civilian like me, I don't live in the healthcare industry. He just talks about being more patient-centered, where the patients have more of a say. Would you agree with that concept?
I totally agree with the concept. And one of the interesting things, I'm in the midst of writing a book about places that have transformed their care to be more patient-centric as a result of Obamacare. And one of the big changes that we've had over the last 6 years is that both the government and many private insurers are paying doctors differently to take care of patients, improve their quality, and lower their costs.
Very interesting.
With things like bundled payment and accountable care organizations. And that's pushing us in the right direction.
Gotcha.
But you can't change the whole ship in a short amount of time.
Right.
It's a $3 trillion operation.
I hear you.
And people are moving to be more patient-centric. And that is a good thing.
And just so everybody knows, nothing's happening until 2018. It's not going to be tomorrow anything dramatically changes. Dr.
And
Ezekiel
I wouldn't bet your last nickel on 2018 that they make a major move either to repeal the Affordable Care Act.
We can no longer take anything about the Obamacare Act on its surface. Dr. Emanuel, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Straight ahead, major cities already refusing President-elect Donald Trump's plan to end sanctuary cities, and now Border Patrol agents firing back. And this story, a brand new member joining the Fox and Friends team. You'll meet them next. It's an exclusive Fox and Friends story.
Today's birthday is brought to you by Red Lobster. Seafood differently.
Want a feast fit for the season? At Red Lobster's holiday seafood celebration, nothing says treat yourself like any of these indulgent new dishes. So try the new...
To have a chance to meet them, who came out on Friday night, and these are some great people. Look at that, Donald Trump dollars. It's from the Villages on Saturday, but it was amazing how pumped up so many people were. Special thanks to the Fox affiliate in Orlando. I was able to do a quick interview with their morning show.
Do they have a curvy couch?
Yeah, but it's cloth. We have pleather.
Okay.
And this young girl got me my first ever, and I'm sure Hallmark's going to be calling, my first ever Brian Kilmeade card with various sections. She's fantastic.
Construction paper that she made it and put a bunch of pictures of you on it. Thank you for coming to the Villages, Florida, she said.
And it was just so great to meet the people and find out what they think. And everybody loves Ainsley, Steve, as you know.
You're sweet.
Everybody.
And they love Steve, too.
Right, they do, but they always love Steve. They just got to meet you full-time. This Friday will be in Dayton at Books and Company, and Saturday, December 9th at the Ritz Theater and Museum.
That is
so tickets to WOKV.
Great.
But special thanks to everyone that comes
I
out.
love
That's great.
this. That's so sweet of her.
Right.
Her grandparents at the Villages or something?
There were grandparents at the Villages, and there's a lot of people in their 50s and 60s at the Villages.
Oh, really?
That's how big it's getting.
Okay, good. I hear it's a lot of fun. The Village.
I was down in Florida this weekend, and the number one thing people were talking about, you in Florida, it was in all the papers. But number two, everybody was talking about the election. Everybody was talking about the
Everyone
election.
has a story.
Everybody got a
And
story.
everyone's surprised about
Were
the
most
results.
people happy?
Most people are happy. And by the way, Heather, I don't know if you know this or not. You know how I always say, please get dressed? Mm-hmm. Everybody was saying to me, you know how many times I'm half dressed and you're telling me to get dressed?
It's
And sometimes
true.
people oversleep and they say, oh my God, I have to hurry.
Yep. Before I worked on this show, I was getting dressed and watching Fox and Friends.
Yeah, we have some
I
pictures.
remember there was a guy that had a TV in his bathroom, and he says, I shower with you every morning.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Well, later we're going to play Ainsley's voicemail down. It should be quite interesting.
No place better than Fox. All right, good morning to all of you. I hope you had a great weekend. I know Brian did, Ainsley and Steve as well. A couple news headlines starting out with a serious story. A yoga teacher back behind bars in connection with her twin sister's death. A Hawaiian grand jury indicted Alexandria Duval on second-degree murder charges last month after uncovering new evidence. Police have not been able to find her until now. She's accused of intentionally driving her SUV off a cliff in Hawaii, killing her twin. She said it was an accident, but witnesses say that the two were arguing just moments before she sped up and plunged 200 feet down that cliff. Police arresting her in New York after they say she tried to run. A state of emergency declared in Tennessee as wildfires rage out of control throughout several states in the southeast. Police making 2 arrests for arson. This man, Johnny Mullins, arrested in Kentucky. They say that he set fires for Facebook likes. He's an aspiring weatherman. He confessed to wanting to live stream this weather report on social media. Meanwhile, flames spewing smoke that was so thick that people near the Georgia-North Carolina state line are being urged to wear special masks if they go outdoors. A Republican lawmaker taking voters for a ride, literally. Nebraska Senator Ben Sasse spotted behind the wheel of an Uber over the weekend. A stunned rider tweeting this, quote, "This can't be real." But the senator confirmed it on a tweet of his own, saying fact check, #real. Sasse says it's part of his initiative to work alongside Nebraska residents who are performing a number of different jobs across the state. He's donating any profits to charity. And those are your headlines. And we have some exciting news today, don't we, guys?
We do.
So excited about it.
We have Uber news right now. It is a great day here on Fox and Friends because we have a big announcement to make. We are officially welcoming a new member to the Fox and Friends team.
Wait a second. Is it Janice Dean? Is it true she is now part of the Weekend family?
Oh, my
Weekday
gosh.
family?
We're so excited.
I mean, once in a supermoon, you get your dream come true.
Every 70 years.
Oh my gosh, I'm so
deserve
excited.
it.
I mean, I've been with you guys for 13 years.
Yeah, people at home are like, wait a minute, what do you mean a new member? She's been with Fox. We love her.
And I really feel that way. But we're going to do, Monday through Friday, and I'm going to be here. We're going to have fun, weather, and a little bit of kooky.
Actually, it's funny you should put it that way because we've got a report now to show folks.
What?
Not so much about the weather, but it is about the kooky. Watch.
Oh. This is Fox and Friends.
Hello there, I'm Janice Dean.
Janice Dean, the weather machine.
The golfing machine.
The Christmas machine. The climbing machine.
Janice, what's the weather looking like?
What's your news?
Oh, I'm engaged.
For those that don't know, you do have a bun in the oven.
Yes, he's 7 months this week. He's cooking.
So great.
Well, new mother Janice Dean, the birthing machine, is joining us with the world debut of your son.
This is Matthew, our little weather intern. Motherhood is the best thing since sliced bread. This time last year, I was blocking most of the screen.
That's so
right?
true. That's
yeah.
right. You were a warm front.
What's your favorite channel? Fox
Janice Dean, the montage machine. You know, because you've been with us for so long, this became your life. We saw your husband, we saw you pregnant, we
Babies.
saw your baby, we saw your challenges.
Wait a second. Just for if you're just tuning in, she's staying. She's not going. You gave it's like your finale reel. You're coming back tomorrow.
I got nothing. I mean, I'm speechless. Thank you so much for putting that together. I feel so blessed. You guys are like I mean, this is a dream come true. You guys are my family, and I'm so happy
You're
to
gonna
be
be
with
here
you.
every day. You're going to be here every day.
Right? It is a dream come true because you worked so hard. You worked so many weekends, and now you get to spend time with the boys at home on the weekends.
It's good. We had our first weekend together, and my son Theodore said, Mom, I'm so glad that you're here with us on the weekend. So I'm very thankful. I'm thankful for the Fox family, and you guys have embraced me, and you have been through challenges. But I got engaged on, you saw my ring,
Yep.
you saw me have 2 babies, and I feel like this is my family, and I'm just so blessed. I'm so blessed. I really feel like, it's been 13 years of being at Fox has led to this moment. So thank you for
Janice,
welcoming me.
Do you want us to tell your family you're going to bed at 8 o'clock now at night?
Oh, yes.
Well, you want us to break the news?
Yes, please. Thank you so much.
All right.
I'm so excited.
problem.
Love you.
Janice Dean, the weather machine, officially part of Fox and Friends. All right. Now you have to do the weather for
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Shortly. Meanwhile, still ahead, major